Hi, this is Farmer Joe of Farmer Joe and Farmer Wings Garden of Oz and in the LA area, and I wanted to talk with you. I'm getting ready to plant tomatoes, and I'm not planting them today. I'm searching out for the tomato plants that I want, and I'm very particular about the ones I do get. And maybe in another video I'll show you my spreadsheet and how I've researched about 400 different varieties of tomatoes and decide what it is that I want to grow this year. But I'm not doing that on this video. But what I do want to talk with you about is that I want to talk with you about planting the tomatoes. Now, tomatoes are very different from almost all other plants. There are some exceptions, like potatoes, and so like I say, tomatoes and potatoes. But with tomatoes, you can, actually, let me say this, with regular plants, you cannot bury them up to here, because you'll be burying the stem, and the stem is not designed to be underground. The stem is designed to be above ground. And then, you know, when you grow other plants or plant other plants, you want to make sure that you, for the most part, that you plant them even with the regular ground that you're putting them in. But tomatoes, however, if you notice, and it's going to be very hard to see on this video, I'm sure, but tomatoes, the plant itself is very hairy. Now, each of those hairs have the ability to grow into roots. And so one of the tricks that I use in growing tomatoes is that I bury them deep. And what I mean by that is, like with this tomato plant here, this is a Neves Azorean Red, and this is a big beef tomato. But with this tomato plant, I would pinch off this leaf, this leaf, this leaf, and this leaf. And then if I were to plant this today, I'm going to wait for another week or so before I plant it, but I would only leave on these leaves up here. And now I would dig a hole and in the dirt, fluff the dirt up, because you want fluffy dirt, and so this way the roots can spread out. And I put in, for every tomato plant that I grow, I mix in 6 tablespoons of bone meal and 6 tablespoons of rose food. Mix that in the hole, and then after you pinch off these leaves, I would bury it down to here, and you'll have all this area here growing into the hairs on here, growing into roots, and you'll have a much sturdier root system, and you'll have a much healthier plant and a much more productive plant. I brought this one out just to kind of show you the same thing, that I would pinch off this, and leave just the top part over here. So just that top part there above ground. So after, you know, this one, you know, even if I had another plant that was this tall, I would still just keep maybe 2 or 3 sets of these leaves at the very top. And by the time I planted everything, you would only see each plant being about that tall. But really, you got all this root system that is now starting to develop, you know, once you plant it. Anyway, this is Farmer Joe from Farmer Joe's and Farmer Wings Garden of Oz, wishing you a happy tomato planting season.